Good afternoon. Let's call this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Citrus County Water and Wastewater Authority on the 6th day of November 2023. Also, today is a very important meeting where we will swear in 3 new authority members and reorganization of the authority. Members will elect a new chair and vice chair. Everyone, please join me to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will call on the new authority member. We will be swearing 3 authority member, 1 technical. That is going to be Mr. Robert Haber, lay member Richard Matherson, and alternate member Charles Moore to stand up and do the oath of office with me. I state your name.
You want to raise your right hand?
I
Richard Matherson,
do solemnly swear
that I will
support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and the state of Florida, that I am duly qualified to hold office under Constitution of the state, and that I will well and faithfully perform and accept the duties of a member of the Citrus County Water and Wastewater Authority, of which I am about to enter. Thank you.
I, Robert Haber, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and the state of Florida, that I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state, and that I will well and faithfully perform and accept the duties of a member of the Citrus County Water and Wastewater Authority, of which I am now about to enter.
I, Richard Matherson, do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and of the state of Florida, that I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state, and that I will well and faithfully perform and accept the duties of a member of the Citrus County Water and Wastewater Authority, of which I am now about to enter.
I, Charles Moore, do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and the government of the United States and of the state of Florida, that I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state, and that I will well and faithfully perform and accept the duties of a member of the Citrus County Water and Wastewater Authority, of which I am now about to enter.
Thank you, and I will let them sign the oath. Congratulations to the new board member. Congratulations. Do you have anything that you want to say before we proceed, Mr. Haber?
No, I have nothing. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, it's a privilege and honor to serve again another term. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Moore?
I'm just pleased to be here and hope to be of help.
Thank you. Mr. Madison?
Same thing. I just want to give back to the community, and hopefully I'll be able to help here.
Congratulations again. Now we're going to do the roll call. I would like to conduct the roll call. In attendance, Bob Brittamiller,
Here.
Richard Matterson,
Here.
Charles Moore,
Here.
Robert Haber,
Here.
Chuck Howard,
Here.
Citrus County Attorney Denise A. Damanlin. And I am going now to proceed to do the reorganization. Members of the board, I would like to call the nomination for chair for the Citrus County Water and Wastewater Authority.
I would like to make a motion to have Bob Rootmeiler continue in his position as chair.
motion to nominate Bob as the chair. Do I have any
Second.
second? Any public comment? Any board discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Congratulations, Mr. Bob. You can go sit down now in this chair.
Okay, thank you. I can stay right here, right? I don't have to move. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I certainly feel honored to be in this position. I also enjoy the participation from everyone that comes to these meetings, and it's been an honor, and I hope that I meet your expectations and in the future. So thank you very much. I'm just going to ask a point of order here. Cecilia, at this point, do I go ahead and proceed for a nomination for a new vice chair at this point?
Correct, sir.
Okay. So at this point in time, we're going to have to go through request a nomination for someone to serve as a vice chairman on the authority, on the Water and Wastewater Authority Board. Can I have a nomination? I can also ask for if someone to volunteer as a nomination. Is that appropriate, Denise?
Sure, if there are.
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
Can also ask for someone to volunteer as a vice chair.
I would be willing to accept that position, Bob.
Okay, Robert Hayward. And can I have someone to second that motion?
Second it.
The motion is seconded. And any comments from the public regarding this? I should follow the criteria here. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you might want to have
do, I got
someone
it.
make the motion. He volunteered, but
okay.
you probably want to have somebody make the motion.
Okay, let's
I'd
go
like to
ahead.
make the motion that Bob would be your vice chair.
Okay.
in the position.
Thank you.
Now you need a second.
Now we're set. Okay.
No, now you need a second.
Okay.
He made the
Oh,
motion.
I still need a second. Okay, we got a second now. We
There
have a
we go.
motion and a second. And any further discussion? Okay, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. So congratulations,
Thank you.
Mr. Haber. Thank you very much
Board, and
for taking that position.
those are big shoes to fill when you're not here, so I hope you're always here.
I hope you're always by my side if I really mess up.
I will
You
be.
can say, Bob, besides Cecilia, we got a backup. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
So I'm going to do one other thing because we just have two members that have just joined us. And it's a slight deviation, but I think it's important that the two new board members, we get to know them slightly and they get to know us. So with that in mind, I wish to welcome the two new members, Rick Matherson and Charlie Moore, to the Board of Directors of Citrus County Water and Wastewater Authority. I commend each of you for your willingness to volunteer your time and talents for the betterment of our community and the functions of this organization. It's very important that you've done this, and we deeply appreciate your volunteering these positions. It's appropriate that you kind of get to know those who participate in these meetings, because I remember the first day I came, it was total strangers around me, and now they're all familiar faces. But in order to help that kind of like diving into the fire immediately with not knowing what you're getting into, or the people at least, I'm going to ask each of the representatives of the private companies who provide their services to tell us your name and your company, the services you provide, and also if you can do the number of customers. So I'm going to pick on Marshall first. So it's real easy. Okay. Yeah, Marshall and his wife, please. Yeah, come up to the front, please.
We're Marshall and Kim Hash. We're Hash Utilities. We provide drinking water only and number of customers.
850. Well, in the county, we have about 700, 680, I think, in Citrus County.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. You're more than one company, I know that. So how many companies do you?
No, there's just one company,
But
multiple
they're
systems.
Systems, okay, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And there's multiple systems, because we see the system names a lot of times in some of the documents. So how many systems are there?
In Citrus County,
Yeah,
10.
10 systems. Yeah. So they're all individual water plants, and they all
Yes,
have their own,
they're separate,
obviously own
They
customers.
have their own rates, they have their
Yeah.
own, yes.
Yeah, so, okay. I'm doing this for the benefit of our two new members, so they kind of have a feel of,
Yeah.
you know, when I go and pick on Marshall or Kim, you know at least a little bit about them.
We
Okay,
do it different than most systems. I argue with my software developer, and I argue with the PSC. Most of them will put them into one big category, and everybody pays the same fee. I have systems that have backup generators, and I have systems that have 8 customers. They don't pay the same. And we keep the accounting separate. All of our equipment is owned by Hash Utilities, and the systems get access to it, and we charge fees, which we put on our annual reports separately for each system. Causes me more paperwork,
Yeah.
but when I look at the systems that I've bought from Citrus, from Levy County or Marion County that have dealt with the PSC, they blend it all into one pot. And so far, it's been pretty easy for us to keep it separate with the billing software that we use. So, and I just keep the annual reports up throughout the year, so at the end of the year, all I have to do is total. It keeps it pretty simple for me. And then by law, we have to do a leak study every so often. Basically, we do a leak study every billing cycle. We had a customer in Homosassa, used 1,080,000 gallons in one
one
cycle.
customer.
I had a little pond right over there by his meter box. I couldn't read his meter because the box was full of water. I opened the lid, can't read the meter. I move on. We come back out that evening after we're done meter reading, and I got to get to that.
Yeah.
Something we're going to have to deal with. And I turn the meter off, and that little puddle over there dries up. I'm thinking, that's a little puddle. And we read the meter. Yeah, 1 million
Wow.
gallons just went into the ground like
Oh,
that.
that's too bad.
It didn't get 10
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, away from that meter box. So
Well-
yes, we keep everything separate. We come to the board. I like the board. I'm a fan of the board. It's something we volunteer for. Okay,
Sure.
so the board is been good for us, and I like it locally regulated. We deal with the PSC on 2 other systems. It's not more convenient. It's just sterile.
Mhm.
That makes sense. So yes, the PSC is not ideal as having it locally, and so we really have supported that over the years.
Well, I think it's appreciated by the board because you've come to almost every meeting too, and it's good. I mean, sometimes you come in the meeting, the issues don't even concern you, but you're still here. So we really appreciate your presence. So
Well, we appreciate the help
Yeah.
that the board gives. So,
thank you very much. Okay.
us.
And then Jennifer Smith and Roy Rogers, could you just come up and tell us a bit about yourself and your company for the benefit of our 2 new members?
Hi, I'm Jennifer, and this is Roy. We are with Cinnamon Ridge Utilities, and we only provide water, no wastewater. We have 287 connections and about like 600 customers in that area.
That's
Don't know
good.
what else to tell you. I do not have that headache that they do. The hashes know what to do.
That's good.
We're just a small utility company, and we do the Cinnamon Ridge subdivisions.
I'm kind of a new kid on the block. I've only been around for a year and a half. My background is in general contracting, and I'm also a registered environmental engineer.
That's good. Well, thank you for introducing yourself.
Absolutely, and thank you for
And
the
you've been
opportunity.
coming around to the last few meetings, so it's good to see you here
Yes.
too. It's
I'm
very
going to
nice.
tell you, you're cheerleaders.
Oh, good cheerleaders.
They
okay.
are.
Thank you very much.
They're
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, sure.
Can I ask one question?
Sure, go ahead.
Are you both just water systems or water and just water? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So there are a few that do water and wastewater, for example. Rolling Hills is be one of them that is a combination. Indian Springs is another. There's a few of them out there, but predominantly these are water-based, potable water-based companies. And all of you are operating off of wells, is that correct? Yeah. Yeah, there's no surface water systems at all.
Tampa and Miami have surface water.
Yeah, that's reverse osmosis, desalinization. I've done one of those plants. Forget about it. Okay.
I'm sorry, but you can't talk from the audience. If you're going to
Yeah.
speak, you have to come up to the mic.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. That was my fault. Jeannie's here. Could we please note that Jeannie in the minutes that Jeannie has made it?
Noted.
Jeannie.
Hey, Gene.
Bad day.
Oh, well, you made it here. That's good effort.
Yeah.
So there's one other thing that I'm doing again for the benefit of the two new board members, and that is, I think she'll probably give you some. And this is probably one of the driving factors of this entire board is the mission statement.
Mr. Chair, are you going to tell the board members about that's a fraction of you've got two individuals who spoke, that's what, about 1,100
I'm sorry.
if I can finish?
Yeah.
That's about 1,100 total customers that's represented by those two individuals, but I think the Water and Wastewater Authority regulates utilities, customers of what, do you have any idea what the number of customers is? I know Rolling Oaks is over 5,000.
Between 6,000 and 8,000.
It's between 6,000 and 8,000. So these two companies represent a very small fraction of what the authority actually oversees and regulates. I didn't want y'all to think that there was only 1,100 customers that you take care of.
Yeah, thank you, Denise.
Thank you.
That's a good point. I also forgot that I just wanted to get you, the two new members, to get to know the people up here a little bit, okay? And then just go around the table and tell us who you are and your function. I'll start with Cecilia.
I'm Cecilia. I'm the Executive Assistant for Office of Utility Regulation. Pretty much you're going to hear from me when we have something going on for the Water and Wastewater Authority. I work directly to the interim executive director, which is Steve Howard currently. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
So the most important thing, Cecilia, she's your main contact. If you have questions, or she'll be sending out emails and agenda, things like that. She records the minutes for us. So she's a very important key point in the whole organization.
She's always there too when you call.
Say that.
She's always there when you call.
Yeah, that's good. So, Mr. Howard, Chuck, just go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Charles. Everybody calls me Chuck Howard. I'm a consultant for the Utility Reg Office for short term. I was the executive director for utility regulation for 11 years. I retired for 5 years, and they asked me to come back and kind of do like a very minimal reorganization to smooth out the function of the office again. So that's what I'm doing, and unless they extend, I'll probably be going back into retirement in December.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Chuck. And we're glad to have you on board. Chuck's the one we look to for expertise, especially historical, what's happening in the past, and he knows all of the companies, every single one, I'm sure, right, Chuck? Every single one of all the companies. So you're a very valuable resource for us to be here. So I'm going to skip to Robert. Robert, tell us.
I'm Bob Haber, and I'm retired from as an inspector from Hernando County Utilities, and I had a bunch of license in potable water, nothing with wastewater, and I did a lot of work with backflow prevention down there, and I guess I could tell you I started from digging in the trenches, making connections and installing meters, and this became a job I loved, and I wanted to continue giving back something to my county, Citrus.
Yeah, thank you, Bob.
We're glad.
And Janine.
Jeannie, I'm used to work for the elected officials. I worked for the state Congress people and the senators. And And then when I was retiring from that, I wanted to stay more active in the community. And I knew that about how many water companies there are and how we're not like the big cities where it's just big, powerful water and it's just there. And so I wanted to be a part of it because I knew we have more working together with your companies and trying to make things work easy with the government part. So it's just part of staying active and being a person that can kind of weave people for people when they need an answer, because I know so many layers of people in government.
Thank you, Jean. I'm Bob Rudemeller. I'm an industrial process control engineer. I've done it for 40 years. I specialize in water and wastewater systems. And mainly I do large facilities, main water, wastewater treatment plants, and literally the entire continent, North American continent, and the Pacific areas too, all the islands, a lot of the islands in the Pacific.
Hi, my name is Rick Matherson.
I'm going to go to Denise first.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Denise.
I'm Denise Lynn. I'm the Citrus County Attorney. I represent the Florida County Commissioners and their staff, and I represent this board and keep y'all in the legal zone. So
Thank you, Denise. Okay, and then finally, I'd like to just ask the two new board members to just introduce themselves and tell us a little about them. So,
Hi, I'm Rick Matherson. I moved up here from Broward County, and I spent 18 years with the city of Fort Lauderdale from trainee to operator A. And then I retired from there and went to work for a year and a half or so with Coral Springs Improvement District as a water operator. So I'm a water operator kind of guy. And I always was the guy that would try to weasel out of jury duty because I work shift work and you're missing that and I'm busy. So now I'm trying to give back to the community. So
that's good.
That's where we're at there.
Well, we've got some technical expertise that we can rely upon too. That's always good to have more. So, yeah, and Charlie.
I'm Charlie Moore. I'm much like the others in being somebody who was involved in some of this stuff and come back for recycling, I guess, retraining, whatever I need. I was in local government administration, city management, and that sort of thing for 40 years. And in between was about 10 years of raising turkeys. In large quantities. And so now I'm offering to come back and offer my services.
So, are you selling turkeys at Thanksgiving? Is that?
I know there's some irresistible comments to that one.
No, we can't do that. But anyway, it's commendable because my wife has 54 chickens. I can't imagine having a large number of turkeys.
50,000 at a time.
I see somebody else snuck in here, Steve Howard. So, Steve, we're just kind of going around the table and introducing ourselves to the two new members. So please introduce yourself.
Am I on? Okay. Yes, Steve Howard. I kid around. I said the county administrator with the Promise Keeper. I keep the commissioner's promises and I keep my job. But my background a little bit is Florida native, worked city government, county government. Always have fun with this one. For 5 years, I worked for Sheriff Grady Judd, doing a majority of his administration for him. We're still remain close friends. Left there, went to Seminole County, worked with him a little bit, and then was asked to consider a job in coastal Georgia and served 15 years as their county administrator. And then a personal thing happened in 2018 where we were fostering a little girl. We were told probably a month or two, ended up being forever. So she'll be 5 December the 2nd. So because of that, we wanted to get back to Florida and get closer to grandparents and family and things like that. So excited to make a difference, leave it better than we found it. That's my personal mission statement and a team approach. So I like to touch everything with staff, get the best that we can get to move this county forward and do it collectively. And obviously there's a lot of change on the horizon for this county. But I think if we are true to our vision and our mission statement, which is on the wall, let those be our guiding principles. There's a lot of things we can accomplish when no one cares who gets the credit. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, we certainly appreciate coming to these meetings. It's very valuable, and I've already seen some changes that are very beneficial. So thanks for participating and encouraging us and moving us forward, Steve. That's very much appreciated.
And all of you too, I tell you, you don't do this for the pay, obviously, because you're not getting paid. But you play a real important role. for what you do. And each of you, I know we had a lot of applicants, which I was overwhelmed by. But each person has a certain experience and expertise that helps have a good perspective. So thank you for your unselfishness to serve. That's really important, and I commend you for that.
Well, thank you, Steve. You did mention the mission statement, and I'm just going to do this for the benefit of our two new members. This is a copy of our, you got it already, okay. So it's an extra, is it on the,
They have
that's
it
up
in
on
the
the
book.
board as well.
They have it in their book.
It's in the
Okay, you
back.
got it in the book then?
It's in the book.
So,
Very back.
I just want to briefly read this. It's not very long, but it's very important, and it helps you understand what our guidelines are for this entire, to balance the needs of consumers and utilities while providing for a sustainable future by assuring that consumers have reliable, high-quality water and wastewater disposal at the lowest feasible price. Now, the operative words here are reliable and high-quality products, water and wastewater. But it also, an operable word is the lowest feasible price. That doesn't mean that we're here to get it as cheap as possible. There's a balance between the two, is reliability and high quality. But we also want to make sure that the companies that are operating are healthy companies and they are reasonably profitable. So that first one is very important for us because we're going to be dealing with a lot of financial matters. You're going to see that most of what we deal with is financially based. The second item is assuring the utilities have an opportunity to earn an adequate return on their prudent investments consistent with the quality of service. Again, it underlines what I said earlier, is that we're not going to put major constraints on the customers we work with, or the companies we work with. And we have to be realistic in terms of what our constraints or what our guidelines are in working with the companies that provide the service to the end user. Also, we call them the ratepayers or customers. And then finally, assuring that actions undertaken or supported by the office are in full compliance with applicable codes, standards, particularly those aimed at protecting the general health, safety, and welfare of its citizens, as well as those that preserve the environmental aspects of Citrus County. I think all of this is very, very important. We have other agencies that are working with us to achieve those goals. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection is one, for example. SwiftMud is another one, very much involved in the water. We don't get directly or usually involved with them, but they are part of the overall goal of this mission statement in terms of what services they also provide in conjunction with ours. So that's our mission statement, and it's our guiding force. It is our guiding force. It's our guiding direction forward. So at this time, I'd like to say, is there any question from our two members that you'd like to ask anyone here before we proceed? No, Charlie? No? Okay, that's good. Okay, at this point, we're going to go to A5 in your books and the approval of the agenda. Steve, is there any additions or any corrections to the agenda?
See Cecilia, she's got out. See what she's got. There is something. Let's see what we got here. We've got additional attachment backup information. Okay, we've got that for additional individual. Robert Haber, technical member. Presentation of certificate of appreciation for William Boozman, Robert Scott, and William Reese. Is that correct, Cecilia?
We invited William Reese, Robert Baldwin, but only Mr. William Boozman is the one present today to receive the certificate of appreciation.
Fantastic. We'd love to give that certificate if appropriate.
Okay.
Appropriate time.
Just want to go ahead, please.
Okay.
And William, do we want to step forward, please, if you could? Sure.
Who's on the board?
One thing we wanted to do was, I think in the past, they have it, we want to make sure that all the hard work that the authority does, that a little, at least we give you something, some type of token. And also, we're working on a plaque that will be presented in the future of a history of this authority. You all did such great work, and we appreciate everything that you've done for this community. We thought about it.
Two times zero is zero.
There's I had a CFO I worked for, and I never forget, got a plaque and it said, due to budget constraints, the light at the end of the tunnel has been turned off. Turned off. So, thank you, sir. Thank you for the assistance.
See, do you mind if I keep this first page, make notes on?
That's what we sure is appropriate.
Yeah, sure.
I think we're good, Cecilia, that's all we have?
Yes, sir.
That's all we have. Thank you very much for allowing us to recognize them appropriately.
So we've satisfied for Bob Haber everything required for Bob now, or is there anything else that has to be done? Because his name appeared back down here on H.
Yes, originally he was not supposed to be here. He's not included on the published agenda. That's why, for the record, he is present and did the oath taking.
Okay.
That's the reason why we added him on the list.
Okay. So there's attachment 1, Citrus County, Florida Code Ordinance, Chapter 102-253E7.
Chair, if I may. The additional item, the A4, that is already done. We just put the agenda item, just for your record, why we did the reorganization. So that's all it is. The
That's all
A-
this is?
Yes.
So I just skip on over?
We already completed it. We just wanted to be on the record that we did the additional information, the agenda memo, and then the Citrus County ordinance, and then the bylaws, just for the attachment.
And then the other one is a modification of Article 3, Section 7 of the
That's just the bylaws,
of the
sir.
bylaws,
Yes, sir. That's just additional attachment.
and it's part of the attachment.
Part of that's, oftentimes we're asked why we're doing things a certain ways because of the bylaws. So oftentimes I think there's some opportunities maybe in the future, at the pleasure of the chair and this board, to maybe to look at that and make revisions, but what we have is what we have at this point as a result of the bylaws.
So the reason I was looking through this and I thought in italics, if any changes were in italics or noted, and my copy didn't. So has there been a modification?
None.
No modification?
No modifications.
Okay, that's
Just
what I
for-
was looking for.
It's just for really just providing justification for why we're having this reorganization meeting today.
Okay.
Because the bylaws dictate that we do this today.
And I think that the previous copy I had of bylaws was version 4, but I don't see a version number on this. Can we reference it by a version or if we ever want to look it up?
Yeah, we can look into that. We'll be more than
Yeah.
happy to look into it.
I've got a feeling I may even have that with me here.
I'm sure Cecilia will find everything. She'll be able to find every version you ever had. She's pretty good at finding those.
Anyway, it's a recommendation that we have some kind of master reference, like a version, because
Yes.
the previous one said version 4. If this is version 5, then if it's the same as 4, then it should say version
make-
4 at the top.
We'll make sure. We'll look into it.
Okay.
Report back.
this is a little bit confusing to me again. I'm sorry I'm stumbling through this, but now it's asking for me to approve the revised agenda, which was basically giving out an award. Is this necessary? Okay, so I'm going to ask someone to make a motion that
I'll make that motion, Bob.
And I
Okay.
second it.
And Janine seconds it, okay. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the next section is time open to the public. Anyone wishes to come forward and address the public, it's now appropriate to do so. Any issue that's on your mind, anything, new business you'd like to tell us or something you want us to talk about, please step forward. Yes, Bill?
Bill Bozeman, former board member, or I should say, out of the frying pan. So, in the last meeting, an issue came up, or I shouldn't say it was an issue, but a thought on doing inspections on the water and wastewater people that we look at as far as their rates. And it started concerning me the more I thought about it, because I've been in this business over 40 years. And we've got the DEP, we've got health departments, we've got all sorts of people regulating and doing inspections on the water and wastewater companies now. And I feel like it would be adding an additional burden to the county and an additional burden to the people that supply this water and wastewater to have another layer of inspection. So it just concerned me that, that we would be thinking about doing that, because it can get very, very complicated and a lot of issues could come up. So I just wanted to express my thoughts on that. So that's my only subject I wanted to cover. Thank you.
So you say you've been in experience in this industry for over 40 years. And have you felt that the prior organizations that you mentioned, FDEP, and the Department of Health, SwiftMud, they're involved as well, to some degree. Do you feel that they were doing an adequate job? And the second question is, did they inform us of any violations that we should be following up? Has that situation ever occurred upon?
Well, of my 40 years, 11 of them were spent at Hillsborough County and the Water Resource Services. And we had water and wastewater. And we had around 1 million customers total. And you can be assured that the health department and that SwiftMud and that DEP, when you were doing something wrong or something they didn't like, they let you know quickly. And I found that to be very adequate. Back in the 70s, it wasn't so much because of staffing problems that they all had with all the development that was taking place and all the water and wastewater companies that were literally popping up. And now they're doing an excellent job as far as keeping everybody informed. And some of your best information comes from the water users. And they can call the health, they think there's a problem, they can call the health department. They can call DEP, and I've seen that happen many times. So yes, I think they do a very adequate job.
Well, I think that issue is being tabled right now. is my opinion. I don't know if it's going to surface again, but it was tabled. But I think we do appreciate your comments and we take them seriously. So we certainly don't want to be in a position where we're redundant unnecessarily. That's probably not very productive. So I think that's probably in summary what you're suggesting. It would be redundant to what's already in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Bill.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions for Bill? No?
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else from the public wish to comment?
Well,
Okay.
let them from the public first,
Oh,
but
go
I have had internal discussions with staff on this because actually wasn't present. And I think part of this was from maybe a previous board that had brought this forward. But I think after I've reread the bylaws, I actually understand them much more clearer now myself. So I think we have a good path going forward. I think with this, it's not something that I think we'd be out there, just doing unannounced inspections and things like that. So I don't think that's not gonna take place. So I don't know if Chuck wants to, or Cecilia wants to make a comment.
Chuck?
But under the direction by Mr. Howard, we readdressed the, and drafted some SOPs. And in that SOP, the only time a site visit will be done if either a customer complaint initiates it, there's a rate case being evaluated that would initiate it. We can get with DEP or SwiftMud. And also I introduced Cecilia to the environmental health staff. So they're available and they've met each other. So there's a rapport there if they want to. Should she talk to them, they're more than happy to share any information. But there's no need for us to investigate. But under those other circumstances, the executive director or designee may go out and investigate. But those would be the things that would initiate that.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, DEP and SwiftMud can do their job. And as the gentleman has said, they do an adequate job of it. And there's no need for that redundancy, especially when they have trained staff to do that.
Yeah. Thank you, Chuck. As a request, I think it's appropriate at the next meeting to provide a copy of that SOP so that the board can see that SOP. Because it doesn't exist right now, or at least I haven't seen that SOP.
It's a draft has been submitted to the office.
Okay.
And we're just waiting for it to be finalized.
Okay, Lynn?
Well, I don't know what's in the SOP. I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't want the board to in any way think that an SOP could change what's in the law. Because the law currently states that the authority or its staff has the power to enter any property used by any utility at any reasonable time to set up and use thereon necessary equipment to make investigations, inspections, examinations, etc., which is very broad. And I wouldn't want the authority or staff to think that under the appropriate circumstances, staff would need to consult with these other entities before doing an inspection, because the law says that the director or his designee can make these inspections. And we can't think of the realm of possibilities that might ever require an inspection, but the power is there. You've been granted that power by the Board of County Commissioners, and it's in the law. So people might not like the idea that the inspection power is there, but I think the board needs to recognize that there may be circumstances where that power needs to be there and you may need it. And so I wouldn't want any SOPs to circumvent the power that's been granted in the law. So
I think that's appropriate what Denise Lynn just said, but I do think that the law actually reinforces the intent, because what Mr. Howard was talking about is what triggers the right to go in and inspect. So the
Yeah, but
SOP
you
should be written
don't
around
know-
the triggering.
You don't know what might trigger an inspection requirement in the future. I mean, you have no idea. You can't presuppose that you know all of the set of circumstances that might happen in the future. you just can't limit yourselves. I mean, you're a regulating body. You need to have the power to go into these utilities upon reasonable notice to do an inspection. I would not want you to limit your powers.
Okay, well, let's just take a look at the SOP and see if it does conflict in any way, Denise, okay?
That's fine.
Yeah, and
I just
we'll
want
ask
to make
for
sure
your
you all know
review.
what the law says.
Yeah, we'll ask for your review before we take a look at it then, okay? That's good. Thank you, Chuck. I think we're going to go ahead and close a public comment now and also the discussion about the SOP. And we're going to go to item C1, and that would be the approval of the minutes. All the board members should have copies of the minutes. Are any questions regarding the minutes before? Any discussion at all?
Just one.
No? No questions?
I have no
Okay.
questions.
So can I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
So moved.
Okay, Charlie, and I need a second.
Second,
Okay, and Robert, second.
Bob. Yeah, I go by Bob.
You can't go by Bob because I'm Bob. That's going to confuse
Okay.
everybody.
Bob
I'll go by Robert. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
Don't change the sign.
We got a second. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item is item D, and that's the quarterly meeting. This is item D1. And go to D1, Bob.
I have no problem with those dates, Bob.
Okay. Any questions or comments on D1? No? Okay, then we'll have ask for a motion to accept the quarterly meeting dates. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Where are they?
D1.
Oh.
It should be yes
Oh.
already.
Okay.
Okay. Richard, second the motion.
Chair, if I may.
Yep.
I just want to give the board a note on the calendar. Miss Lynn and Mr. Howard needs to attend the BOCC, and then the BOCC dates are not final yet. So I just want to put it on record that if there are any changes, I
That's fine.
will put it in the
Yeah,
board's
yeah,
decision.
that's understandable. I mean, I don't think we should be in a position to tell the BOCC we have to change their dates. What do you think?
I'm not
No,
ready
it
for
might be helpful.
retirement, sir.
It might work out for our benefit. Let's have some flexibility with that.
Okay.
And as always, if we need to have a special meeting, you'll let us know.
I will let you guys know.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. I'm going to ask for, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Chair, I'm sorry, I did not get who made the motion
I did.
and who did the second. Thank you, sir.
Okay, we're going to go next to item E, and that's the outstanding authorities list. This is the outstanding commissioners' most current list. So look at E, item A.
So number 2 and number 3. All right,
Where
so
is it? Where is it? Here it is. Yeah,
The next page.
E1, I got it.
Yeah, right here.
Hmm?
Isn't that one?
No, it's down here, this one here. E1 should be the upper right-hand corner.
Here you go. You got it.
I have it? Oh, right here. Okay, E1, got it.
Yeah, got it?
Yeah.
It's the second page behind it. So just please take a look at that and make sure it's correct. Okay. Any questions on this document?
I just ask, are we still down one member? Are we down one member still?
We have
Total
a
number of
current-
board members.
We have one that is currently open and it will be closed in November. I'm sorry, Chair. So we have one which is William Reese resigned for that position, the technical, and it's currently open and it will be closed this month. And then the nomination will be on December. So we only have one that is missing.
Okay, thank you, I understand.
Okay, then, any comments on these two pages? No? Okay, can I have a motion to accept the outstanding items list?
So moved.
So moved?
So
Okay,
moved.
Bob, okay, and seconded, please? Janine, second?
Just to verify, Chair, that is including authorizations of removal of the completed item, number 2 and number 3.
2 and 3 are going to be
Completed.
eliminated.
That's under recommendation.
Yeah, it was kind of understood. The ones that are completed are removed. That's correct. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
Once it says completed, then it's automatically removed, in my opinion.
Yes, Chair, but unfortunately, I still need to ask the board during the meeting once it's complete.
Well, we'll toe the line. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. So item F, Foxtrot 1 is next board meetings, all the board meetings, upcoming meetings. And we have December 4th, 1 PM. Anybody have a conflict or a comment on that date?
No.
I'm assuming we have the use of this room. You've checked that out, Cecilia? Yeah, okay. So any further discussion on this? BOCC meets on a Tuesday at 1 o'clock. It's every other Tuesday?
Second and fourth.
Second and fourth.
Second and fourth.
No, yeah.
But I thought the dates you just approved were for March 4th. So we have a meeting in December also in addition to next year's.
Yes, ma'am, that was approved.
Yeah. Is there a conflict? Denise, you're okay with that? Okay.
I just was going by what you just approved, but that must have been approved previously.
Okay, then let me have a motion to accept this item F1, next meeting, December 4th. Richard, who seconded, please?
Second.
Charlie? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So, I don't have any new business. Does anybody have any new business? Last opportunity to bring something up, say something in public. Anything? No? Steve? Denise?
Wish
Happy
everybody happy.
Thanksgiving.
Yep, that's what I was saying at the same time. I was going to say happy
Now there-
Thanksgiving. You can't come to my house though because I'm going to be on a cruise.
But we do know where we can get some turkeys.
Yes, we do.
Oh, good. That's right. I got the tail end of that about some turkeys.
Well, thank everyone for coming here. I know that even if you're not directly involved in this, it's really appreciated that you come and you attend these meetings. I mean, it's not fun to have a meeting with no audience, and you certainly do fulfill that obligation. So thanks everyone for attending. Meeting adjourned.